Well, Pacelli and Boomer, they're grizzled and gray, talking about Star Wars from back in the day. Got a talk show called Geeky, and it's true, spinning old tales about the stuff that went through. From Atari to Trek, they know every line. Geeky has been feeling just fine. Late Savvy's got a lightsaber, swings it with pride. Boomer's got a game but plays it deep in the night. They're ranting about He-Man and old X-Men too. On Geeky, they're the nerdiest crew, talking Transformers, toys that twist and they turn, singing blues for the geek life, their hearts still burn. Oh, Geeky, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the seams. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky geezers with hearts made of gold. They're sitting in the studio, mics turned up loud, reminiscing about Super Friends, feeling so proud. Pacelli loves Spider-Man, Boomer's for Hulk. They argue about Star Trek with passionate both. From Betamax tapes to their old D20s, Geeky is where the nostalgia flows. They got fans in the chat, from the young to the old, tuning in to hear stories that never get cold. Talking Ghostbusters, proton packs, toys in the box, and Saturday mornings with cartoons that rocks. Pacelli and Boomer, they're keeping it real. Geeky is with that old school feel. Oh, Geeky, they're living the dream, talking comics and movies, they're busting the scenes. From Battlestar reruns to D&D lore, they're preaching the gospel of geek evermore. Pacelli and Boomer, they'll never grow old. Geeky with hearts made of gold. They're singing the blues for the games that they play, for the VHS tapes and the arcades that pray. But the spirits are young, though their hair's turning white. Geeky keep the nerd fire alight. So tune in each week to the Geeky Geezer show, where Pacelli and Boomer let the good times flow. From X-Files to X-Men, they're dropping the news, singing praises of geek life with them old blues. Pacelli and Boomer, forever they'll be. Geeky Geezer's living wild and free.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Do you know what I did to celebrate Easter today?
What?
I had, just before the stream, Netter gave me 3 Cadbury, those little mini eggs.
I love those.
With the hard shell on the outside. If they were filled with malt, they'd have been Robin's eggs.
That's true. Yes.
And I enjoyed that, and that's about it. That's about all I did for Easter today.
I had the Reese's eggs. I had 2 of those earlier.
I've had those in previous years, yeah.
And I have a couple.
Obviously. Go ahead.
I have a couple of mini chocolate bunnies too. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say that Reese's probably pretty safe, but one of the things I've been talking about on Liquid Lunches the past couple weeks is all the arsenic that has been in Hershey's and Jolly Ranchers and Kit Kats and so forth. We'll probably talk more about Hershey later in the stream, but the levels of arsenic in our candies is ridiculous. So
that's scary.
So just be careful, folks. Maybe start paying attention to things other than just what it says on the label.
So welcome everybody to Geeky Geezers. I'm your host, Agent Boomer. This is my co-host, Pacelli.
Mr. Downer, in other words.
And the one and only Geezette, a Netter's Network. Welcome.
Good evening and happy Easter.
She's the bright spot of the channel.
I was rewatching the 10 Commandments over the last couple of weeks. I did part 1 last Saturday, and then the part 2 last night, because it's a long movie.
I thought you were going to say over the past couple of weeks. I did a commandment a week.
I was about to say 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't do a command. You're supposed to do the commandments every day. But anyway.
Right.
I don't know, man.
I better not kill anyone today.
when Charlton Heston, he comes down that mountain and he sees them all in front of that golden calf, he is not happy.
Well, understandably so. I mean, it's funny because I don't think people look at it quite, from the pure narrative standpoint, right? You look at it from the religious standpoint. He's the religious leader. He's the guy that went to talk to God. He speaks for God. So he's got this righteous indignation, right?
Yes.
But you also have to look at it from the point of view of this guy kind of raised up from slavery, lived as, a brother to the Pharaoh. Now, he just wants his people to be treated decently.
Yes.
Gets thrown out, leads his people, literally risks his life
Yes.
to get his people out of slavery.
Yes.
Promises them, trying to hold them together, and these people are like herding cats. And I think he finally got to the point where, oh my gosh, I just went and stood in God's presence, lost some years of my life because of the experience. I mean, that's one way to read that particular passage.
Yes.
He was aged by the
Yes,
process.
he has white hair. In the movie, he gets white hair. Gray. At first it's gray, and then at the end it's white. Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And that's when God is showing himself by a proxy, by the
Not
whole,
even directly. Yes.
Yeah. There's a passage in Scripture where someone was in God's presence and was struck dead because of it.
Right.
That unfilteredness. But anyway, getting off topic, it's like, yeah, I kind of understand him losing his temper. There may not have even been righteous indignation. It's just, I'm tired of you people,
What was that Edward G. Robinson whispering in everyone's ear? And that's
Yeah, right.
And let's throw Deborah Paget on top of the Golden Calf.
Right.
Good old Deborah Paget. But chat is not open, everyone. Thank you. Happy Easter. Thank you, Big Al. Appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and have a great show. Happy Easter. We don't have any Easter theme thing tonight.
No.
I feel we've covered a lot of that stuff in the past. So
I had totally forgotten Easter was coming up until was it you that mentioned it Friday, or maybe Big Al mentioned it?
I think it was someone in the chat said he was battering fish. So you associated that with Lent, I think, and that's what made you. And then we mentioned, no, I did mention it's Good Friday. I think I might have mentioned it, yeah. But wonky internet.
A pepper and egg sandwich on Friday because, I ran out of eggs. May have run out of peppers too.
So just bread, just bread. If you're like the Israelites, you would have had unleavened bread because it's the bread of haste, as it was said in that movie, which I thought was interesting.
So, would you say then that Latin American culture is keeping that idea alive with tortillas?
I never thought about it, but maybe. If it's flatbread, right? Yeah, I didn't think about that.
It really is, yeah.
Deleted scenes, welcome. Netters Network, welcome. Of course, you're in the chat with us.
Hi.
Hello.
And Dpensec FKHC 2005. Oh, and did I say thank you to Ruby Hoove? Hold on.
Not yet.
For
I don't think
doing
you've
the
gotten
gifted
there yet.
membership. Thank you so much. Let me get that up there. For gifting a Netters Network. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and then she just gave me one too. Thank you so much. I can bring that one up easy because it's on my screen.
Gotcha. And then it was for David Davinia Robbins 298. Well, you got a
Yep, and mine went to Beelzehub.
Ah,
That's a great name, Beelzehub.
A name on especially today of all days. But
Yeah.
yes. Anyway.
And she says she's celebrating 12 months of it. It's 1 year membership. Oh,
Happy
welcome
Easter.
and thank you so much, Ruby Hoove. Super, super appreciate you. You are so wonderful. Now I've gotten you way out of order. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm just trying to mention who I haven't mentioned yet. PJO.
Oh, sorry.
You
We
and I
got
are doing
Connie?
the same thing. I got.
Okay, I'm
Connie
not going
already.
to touch it anymore. It's all you.
I don't know. If I miss anybody, I apologize. Enigma Severus, welcome. Good to see everybody. Welcome. Let's see if I missed anybody. I do apologize. Watch the Ten Commandments this afternoon after Jason and the Argonauts. Maybe I should watch that next week.
Yeah.
That is a classic. I do love Jason and the Argonauts.
I should have watched was the Easter Bunnies coming to town.
That's a good one. You know what? I did
Well,
watch
it's
that.
the Easter Beagle Charlie Brown.
Right, right,
I
right. We
watched
didn't
that
know
earlier
that.
today. I watched It's the Easter Beagle Charlie Brown. I did do that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the one episode where finally Pepper and Patty is the one being reasonable. Marcy's being the idiot in that episode. The
Yes,
eggs and
yes.
everything.
She's getting frustrated because Marcy's being so stupid, and it's like this is not Marcy. Marcy is the intelligent one.
I don't know what was going on in Schultz's
She
brain.
must have gotten a hold of some brownies or something that she shouldn't be having or something. I don't
She
know.
took from the wrong plate of brownies.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Cats would be easier, and they should have left Dathan behind. Well, Egypt didn't want him.
Well,
They were
right.
like, fine, you go with your people then. Netter's the youngest member on the panel at 39. I agree. Yes.
There you go.
39. More humans. I don't know, man. When that golden calf that explodes on the thing and they get the earth opens up, I'm wondering where they're headed in that scene. That's all I'm gonna say. Is that like a direct pipeline to you know where?
We could do a whole stream about the assumptions and the realities of that Exodus story.
Sure.
And who that so-called golden calf was meant to represent, and we can go down an interesting rabbit hole. Yeah.
Celebrate 12 months of members. Oh, you already said that, didn't we? Okay, but we're celebrating again. Okay.
Absolutely.
Watch Ben-Hur this afternoon. I did that last year. That was my Easter religious movie of the prior year. So.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the sequel. Ben-Him. I'm sorry.
Well, it's funny because I did Quo Vadis a few years ago, and Quo Vadis I love, but dude, you guys forgot to put an intermission in that thing.
Oh yeah.
Usually with these epics, there's an intermission, and I guess this is before they thought of we should really start putting an intermission in these things because this is before.
This was before they invented having to go pee, so I understand.
But the perfect point of Quo Vadis to do the intermission. I don't know why they didn't do it. Because you have the Roman guy working for Nero, and he's learning about Christianity and stuff, and then Nero says, "Oh, I want to build Neropolis," and guess what I just did? We're going to burn Rome down, and then he goes and you see all of Rome on fire. There's your intermission point. Just cut it there, and then go with the Roman trying to rescue the poor Romans from getting burned, and then of course Nero blames it on the Christians and everything else, and it's but
Ben She-Her.
Yeah, coming to Disney Plus, I'm sure.
Oh, we'll be talking about some stuff coming to Disney Plus real soon.
Go there, please.
Well, I'm afraid we're gonna have to. But
happy Sunday, thank you, Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. So let's go to the presentation.
Oh yeah, presentation. There we go.
I decided to pick something light tonight, but it ties into one of our articles, and I don't know if y'all will have anything to say on the subject, but let's just dive in. Because when I think of the good old days, I also think of pinball.
Oh, you're right. This does tie in. The
pinball, the pinball machines of old. But I'm really thinking of the pinball machines you and I may have grown up with during the 80s and maybe the 90s.
Yeah,
I don't. Do they still make pinball machines? They must.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Because I know
still companies that make them, service them, distribute them. Yeah, they do. I know. I was just thinking that too. Tim, he says, "Cue Tommy, pinball wizard." Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because I actually got to experience pinball games because during the 6th generation of consoles, they got to the point where they could pretty well replicate in a video game form like the actual old school pinball tables and how they would look and sound and feel, like with reflective glass and the stuff on the inside. I mean, not quite 1-to-1, pretty close.
There was actually a really good one that came. It was standard on one version of Windows. I mean, it was as standard as like Minesweeper and Solitaire. It was there, and in later ones you'd have to pay for it, and it wasn't as good.
I hate it when
the original one was really, really good. And I think you use like each one of the shift buttons. I think was your flippers, and
I see.
You would use the space bar to shoot the ball, and how long you held it down was how hard you pulled it out. Because I don't know if you know this, but you didn't have to pull that thing all the way back. You could pull it just a little bit, and you could try to get it to just kind of arc in. There was all kinds of things that you could do. Still remember the Microsoft pinball game?
Yeah, just
yeah. See, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There was I don't remember which button you'd hit where you could tilt. Or like shake to try and keep it from doing something you didn't want it to do. But of course, if you did that too much, you'd literally tilt. That was a feature built into pinball games. Early pinball games didn't have that, so you could like move the machine around and shake it to try to prevent it from doing stuff. But then they started building in stabilizers or sensors in the machines that would recognize when you were tilting, and it would you'd get an alarm that said tilt, and it would just shut down, and you would lose that ball.
This happened. I mean, I'm not really trying to talk about video game pinball games in this, but I remember I played Devil's Crush and Alien Crush on the TurboGrafx 16, and the B button would allow you to tilt the machine, the fake video game machine you were playing on, right? And if you kept hitting tilt or put tilt on turbo, then suddenly the machine would get mad and say tilt, 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 and then suddenly your ball would go right down the drain.
Yep.
You lose a round because you're trying to tilt the machine.
That's how it was with most of the pinball machines you'd find today have that feature in it. There was about 2 or 3. In the Commons at DePaul University when I went.
Yes.
There was like 2 or 3 pool tables, and they weren't the big, official ones. That were the smaller ones you usually have in your rec room.
Yeah, that was good.
There was a jukebox. There was I've mentioned this before. There was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game,
the arcade
Ninja
game.
Gaiden, and a couple of other video games. And there was at least 2 pinball machines. One of them was, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like it was a food-based thing, and you had this character that would say, "It's lunchtime, go and get a hot dog." And
I know what you're talking about. We're going to get to that one later, but I'm not going to
okay.
That was I think a Williams or Bally Midway game. I think I'll just say the title now.
And the reason that sticks in my mind is because I literally would play it at lunchtime, and every time I play it, it'd be like,
have a hot dog.
I think I'm going to go get a hot dog. Yeah. I didn't bother with I played way too much pool there, but I would complain about the fact that they weren't full-size pool tables. And then my buddy would say, "Well, you realize just down the street is the pool hall where they filmed." Yeah, where they filmed The Color of Money.
Oh wow!
And I'd be like, "Yeah, we should go there sometime." We never did actually get around to going there, but anyway.
It's funny you're mentioning pool when the name of this pinball machine right here is 8-Ball.
It absolutely is. And I can't really see the details on this, but there was always cool stuff. You had bumpers on the sides and whatnot that represented some aspect of whatever it was meaning to portray. I don't know Pinbot, but I would imagine that you're figuratively fighting robots, and so when you'd hit these different bumpers, you'd be hitting these robots.
I think a robot actually raises out of the inside of the machine, and it's Pinbot.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I love a lot of different pinball machines. I think Williams made the best ones. They're always my favorite. But this was Pinbot. Luckily, we got, like I said, we got these console collections of pinball machines. On the PS3, you would get like a primer, then you could download the tables for a small fee. You download a set of tables or a few tables, and some of them were even themed off of movies and such. I'll get to those in a minute. But Troy, they had an app game pinball machine with a Godzilla theme. Well, that's interesting.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Gorgar. This was one that's always in there. I don't know what Gorgar is.
I've heard about this one, yeah. Never actually saw it.
This is another Bally Midway one. Here's another one. Taxi. So, of course, people would trying to get a taxi,
Which is weird, because what am I seeing there? I'm seeing Marilyn Monroe, Dracula, Santa Claus. I don't know who that is waving down. Is that the mayor of New York?
Ed Koch or something, maybe?
Could be.
I don't know that. Maybe
yeah.
that's supposed to be it. I don't know. Yeah, but that was they were funny. So they got inventive with pinball machines during the 1980s. This one I remember.
Ooh.
You know this one, don't you?
I don't think so, but I really dig it.
This I found, it was when I was visiting Disney in the early 80s. They had it in one of the Disney pavilions, like in a little arcade they had at one of the hotels. And this was Haunted House. And what was interesting about Haunted House was it had multiple levels. Like it had raised levels, like this one that you're kind of seeing at the bottom there. It's a graveyard. And like things would pop up and things, and this was like early 80s, but this was very impressive. I like this one. I don't believe this was a Williams. I think this was a Gottleby pinball machine, but this was rather neat. Moving over here, though, that's Black Knight. Again, can only do so well with the pictures, though. It's so hard to replicate the experience without actually being there. But
like you said, there was some where there were like different levels, and you would try to you would learn to use the bumpers in such a way that you could try to get it to go the way you wanted it. And if you played the game a lot, you'd get to the point where you could just always make it go exactly where you wanted it to go. When the ball was at a certain point on it, if you flicked it at the right time, it would go at a certain angle, depending on the speeds and stuff like that. It could go into these spirals that would take it up to a level, or it would drop down into another level. Sometimes it would go into an area where you couldn't see the ball, so you didn't know when it was going to shoot out at you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You think that there must be some skill to it, right? Because I think there is, but
there's also a degree of luck to it.
Yeah, how much is skill, how much is luck with these machines, yeah.
As much as they had computerized stuff in them, with computerized voices
later
and
on,
stuff like that, it was still all mostly analog, because you're dealing with an actual ball and actual switches that flipped servos that would, move the pieces and whatnot. So it was all very, very mechanical, which I just found to be as interesting as some kind of like an automaton or something like that,
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it. When they first came out, I think they were purely mechanical, weren't they? And it's just...
Oh, absolutely they were. And all the noises were literal bells. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. In fact, I think you used to be able to win money from those machines. Oh, what's it say? Let's see. Worked at a convenience store, 8 years old. We couldn't find a babysitter's mom would give me a roll of quarters, and I would play pinball and joust for hours. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right about that. And the problem with that was that the kids wanted to play them, but it was like it was seen as gambling if there was an element of being able to win money from them. And that just seems kind of backwards, because it didn't make the kids want to play it any less when there was no money to be won from them. It's like, okay, we'll just take your money, no problem.
What's
they
this?
just want to test their skill.
Yeah, exactly.
Did a pinball machine attack people in Maximum Overdrive? Did that seriously happen?
I wouldn't be surprised. I can't remember because that was one of the we just watched Firestarter last night, which was one of the better. It may actually be one of the best.
Yeah, George C. Scott as the heavy in that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very sick guy.
Yeah.
And but Maximum Overdrive was one of the stupidest premises. I put that movie right up there with The Happening. That's how stupid it is.
Yeah, I never watched The Happening because I just heard how bad it was.
It makes, if there's a supernatural element, okay. If there's a sci-fi element, okay. They just don't explain it at all, and you're like, this makes no damn sense,
Yeah. This one's called Class of 1812. This is a Gottleby. This is a ridiculous one where it's like all monsters. Like there, you can get a better clue. Like it's like, look at are they pouring punch into a coffin? Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yes.
And you got like a vampire and like all these creeps in this. I think that's supposed to be the Bride of Frankenstein.
This is very clearly meant to. Well, yeah, but without
Universal.
Getting on trademark, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'll tell you something else I think they're trying to homage or rip off without getting in trouble, and that's Rocky Horror Picture Show.
There was a pinball machine for that?
I'm sure there was, but I'm saying this particular one looks like they were trying to
emulate that. Yeah,
exactly.
And look, you got this dude wearing a kilt with a skull and bones attached to it.
Yep.
It's just... That's either the Bride of Frankenstein in the middle there, or that's the Roderick Usher's sister.
Or Medusa,
I don't know. Moving on though. Do I have a picture of the actual machine? Okay. Of course, we
Oh
had
wow.
themed machines. Have you ever seen? Did you ever see this one?
I did not see that. Oh well, I take that back. They may have had that at the Star Trek Experience in Las Vegas, but I wasn't paying attention to pinball machines.
You were busy doing other stuff.
I was doing other stuff. Yeah.
I have played an emulated version of this, of course, in one of those pinball collections I got on the PlayStation 3, and this was you had to pay extra for this one, obviously. But you know, and what was neat about this is that you have, of course, you have I mean, look at that artwork. You just got the whole crew there.
Yeah.
You have I don't know what kind of machine is attacking the Enterprise there. If
That
that's a
is
London
that
vessel,
is no. It is an independent ship that was commanded by an offshoot of the Borg, led by Lore.
That's
Data's,
right.
Yeah.
The
It's actually
table-
a ship that I have in Star Trek Online.
This actually would have one of those screens that would display stuff on it. It was like only in dots, right? You know, so it's very simplistic graphics,
Right.
but like
Right.
there'd be a part in it where you'd hit a certain segment on the board. It says, "Captain, we have engaged the Borg," and like little Borg cubes would show up on the screen. And
That's
stuff.
pretty cool. Yeah.
It
Well,
was-
so
it was-
and this is the thing to remember about this, and this was true about a lot of. I think I did see this game. Now that I see it from top down,
Yeah.
I recognize this. But this was a license that they had with Paramount.
Yes.
So a lot of the games, there were a lot of games for movies, and they were obviously licensed by, what is Bally's or whoever.
Bally
but-
Midway God will be one of those, yeah.
Exactly. But it was usually to promote something that was, in the theaters at the time. There were Star Wars pinball games.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that one in a minute,
Okay,
I think.
okay.
Actually,
I'm
did I
getting
put
it.
that one in here? Well, let's do this one. We, of course, have
Doctor Who. Okay. I didn't know about this one either, but it doesn't surprise me.
I saw this once. I never got around to playing it, though, but I did see it in an arcade. You have, I like the artwork, though, Sylvester McCoy in the middle, because I guess at that point he was the latest Doctor. And, of course, you have Peter Davidson, Colin Baker. I see all of them. I see Tom Baker. I see Patrick Troutman,
Patrick
Hartnell,
Troutman
and
right there,
Pertwee on
The
the side.
first Doctor's
It's-
on the right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. You know what? I'm just realizing it. Are these are? Oh, I get it. Odd numbers on the right, even numbers on the left. Interesting.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's what they did there. And of course, we have the main table, which I can't see that well, but you see the visage
With the
of the
master in the center,
in the
yeah.
middle, yeah, and probably other enemies on the board.
I'm sure there's got to be a Dalek. Oh yeah, right to the side of him. On either side is the Daleks. Yeah.
Yeah. So very cool. I wish I picked this one up.
Hey,
and
me
that
and
one
my
on the
monkey.
PlayStation.
Sorry to hear you're sleepy, but welcome. I'm glad you're here.
There's
yeah,
the
there
Star
it is.
Wars
The Star
one.
Wars game. Yeah.
Supposedly, though, this one is from much later, so maybe there were other ones earlier, because I think this
There
one was
were.
out in the early, like, 93 or something. Data
Mm-hmm.
East made this. So I think that's kind of neat, though. You got Darth Vader and all that on there. There's the actual pinball machine itself. You get
Look
a better
at that
clue.
R2 in the upper left there.
Very
Yeah.
neat. And you got, of course, the visage of Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader fighting from Jedi. You see the Emperor there
Yeah.
in the background. Very cool.
Well, that's how you know it is. Despite saying it's Star Wars, it actually comes from later. Yeah, you can see that railing along the right hand side. That's the kind of thing I was talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
That the ball would go through and everything. Very neat. That I wish I never got a chance to play this machine, but this is a neat looking one. And I think we also have Dr. Jones here.
Yes.
Raiders of the Lost
You
Ark
call him
or
Dr.
Indiana
Jones.
Yes. That should just be. You should just have Short Round's head in the pinball machine with the baseball cap, saying "You call him
Yes.
Dr. Jones."
That would be nice because he
Yes.
sure got the shaft in the later movies. Never got a return of him.
Yeah, especially considering that actor had a resurgence. Disney royally.
I
screwed that
know,
up.
and he would have done it. He totally would have done it.
Got some James Bond 007 with GoldenEye pinball machine here.
Nice.
Very nice.
GoldenEye must have been the one that they really went after for licensing between the pinball, the video game, and all of that.
Back in the early '90s, because Bond had been on hiatus for a while. Because
Yeah.
I argue that there were 2 Timothy Dalton movies we never got to see because they just didn't get made because they were plot lines for 2 more Dalton movies which never got made. One
There
was
was
going to involve. Yeah, go ahead.
License Revoked was one of them, right?
Well, they did. License Revoked ended up becoming License to Kill. That was the original title for License,
Gotcha.
which
Gotcha.
I admit is a smarter title than License to Kill because it's about his license getting revoked, obviously. But,
Yeah.
another one of them was supposed to be about him going to Japan and dealing with an assassin in Japan, which would have been interesting because it would have been the Japan of the '80s, which was, very glitzy and a
Yeah.
lot of wealth getting spun around. That would have been an interesting setting for a Bond movie in the '80s, but we just didn't get it. But yeah, you can see there on the board, you got Famke Janssen there to the right as the henchwoman on the top. But did they have a Jurassic Park pinball machine or Jaws? They must have. Here's the
They
thing about
did have a
pinball.
Jaws one. I do remember the Jaws one for sure.
The funny thing about pinball machines, you think there's no way, then you type it in, then it pops up.
Yeah.
For instance, I said, well, I did this test with this next one. I'm like, did they make a Dirty Harry pinball machine?
course they did.
Boom, there it is. Is that Scorpio on the board there on the bottom there, just aiming at him? I hated Scorpio so much.
You could buy the Jaws Pro Edition pinball machine by Stern.
Stern
for
made it. Okay.
$1,000. Well, no, that's $1,000 deposit. I don't know how much it actually goes.
They're not cheap if you want to buy an old pinball machine. I often argued if I was a rich man, like Tevye used to say in Fiddler on the Roof, I wouldn't even bother with arcade machines. I would just get pinball machines because these things are incredible. And like I said, I did want to give credit to PlayStation 3 because back in the day, because they were bringing out these pinball collections. Unfortunately, another company took them over, releasing these classic pinball machines in video, like video game form, but they started censoring them. There's too much cleavage by the hillbilly lady on the screen. Are you kidding me? These are historical artifacts. Don't be censoring them. So I just didn't bother. And I'm not blaming the company that made it on the PS3 because I think they just lost the license to the table, so another company got them. But what can you do? And I don't know where we are with pinball emulation now on modern consoles, but we are going to have, there is going to be, and I threw this in here because I'm like, was there an Incredible Hulk machine? Yes, there was.
That's very interesting. This was clearly from an era when the animated Saturday morning shows were on.
Probably.
So this is what they were probably.
Looks older, like almost from the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a bit older.
Well, probably early 80s.
It looks neat, though. I mean, I would have tried it out. Because I was trying to see if they had a Spider-Man machine or a Superman machine. But the one you were referring to earlier...
This is it. Funhouse.
This
That's
is
right.
Funhouse. Funhouse, and I guess they still make pinball machines, but I remember when this came out, and I want to say this was when? Sometime in the 90s, maybe even later 90s.
It had to be early 90s because...
it was early 90s, okay.
I was 89, 90, 91.
Okay.
I was going to school, yeah.
This was a phenomenal pinball machine. Whenever they would release those pinball collections I was telling you about, Funhouse had to be on every one of them because this is the one people were buying it for. You have this ventriloquist-like dummy.
Yep.
He's, of course, the host. He's in the board. You have a head of him in the board.
Very creepy. Yeah, that picture
Yes.
in the middle is pretty much what it looks like in the actual pinball game, yes.
See if I can get a picture of it. There it is.
There it is,
The pinball
yes.
machine. And he would say things, because like I said, I had these, because I got it on the Wii, I got it on the PlayStation 2, and I got it on PlayStation 3, these pinball collections, and they would always throw Funhouse in there, and he would say stuff like, have a hot dog, like he would say that. He would also say things like, he would get angry at you, actually, sometimes, like he would yell. I don't know what he was yelling about, it would freak me out. I think he didn't want to tilt this machine, because he would get mad. Yeah. But Netter, did you ever see this machine yourself?
It doesn't look familiar.
With the dummy head, yeah. I just this was an incredible. I've never seen one in person. My brother told me stories because he was going to college around the time this was out in arcades, so he would see it there. But I've always wanted to see one of these in person. But this was like at that point peak pinball technology. I think it was one of the last ones Williams or Midway maybe they're the same company, maybe one got bought out, really released, and I felt it was sort of like a capstone to a long era of great pinball machines. I'm sure other companies make them now, which I'm sure they're great, but this was, I think, one of the
I
last
seem to
pinball
remember
machines.
that using the left flipper, you could shoot the ball into a hole on the right. It would end up going up into that that diagonal rail that you see going across the middle, drop it, and it would drop down for you to use your left flipper again. You could have it going. If you were really good, you could keep it going and keep racking up the points, but it wasn't really that good.
Yeah, I mean, but it was fun to look at, wasn't it?
Oh gosh, it was fun. And then, like I said, if you went through a certain area, he would say, "It's lunchtime. Why not have a hot dog?"
Yeah, it's like he's a carnival barker or something.
Yeah.
Like they even had this music playing, like dun, 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 like this weird, like
Yep.
I was like circus type. It's
Yep.
just weird, and I think I'm not going to say it's the best pinball machine ever made, but if I had to pick one, I would say it's the best pinball machine. I mean,
It is the
it's
one
just,
that stands out in my mind the most. Yeah.
and there have been some great pinball machines over the years, but I especially did like
Yeah.
this one though. But how about yourself, Ned? Or did you have any pinball memories?
I used to play pinball when I was in like high school and stuff.
Right.
It's like, because that was like the big thing was Pinball Wizard was the song.
From Tommy.
So
Tommy
everyone was
the
playing,
Who.
Tommy the Who.
pinball because of that. I can't recall off the top of my head what any of them were called. I know there was one with Elton John on the the picture on the top part.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the other ones because that never really was important to me. It was just I want to play the game.
Yeah.
Here's my quarter. Let me play.
I'm kind of curious. You think they ever made a Tommy-themed pinball game?
I would be surprised if they didn't.
The deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. Now, the weird thing is you might think, well, that's impossible, but they've actually, I know that on, I think even on X-Play or one of those tech TV shows, they had a couple of blind adolescents, and they were playing Mortal Kombat against each other, and they were doing okay, and I'm like, how? How were they playing it? They can't see it, but maybe they know timing, or they listen? I don't know, but they were playing it,
Yes, there is. I'm seeing a pre-owned version of it from 1975 going for $6,000 on eBay. There's another one going for $5,000 on eBay.
Stuff's not cheap. Yeah,
No,
but
it's not.
it's kind of neat. Maybe one day I'll look into maybe whoever. Actually, I think they have a Stern pinball line out now, which you can buy, which might be uncensored. I have to look in to see if they're still censoring this nonsense. Because come on, it's over. Move on, people. We're out of the. Well, I keep saying we're out of the woke era, but we'll see. All right. Well, that's it for pinball, but we might have a pinball story in a little bit. But yeah, they did all-time classics from the 1990s, released by Data East. It's the Who's Tommy Pinball Wizard. Okay, so Data East made it. Data East made a lot of games back in the day.
Yeah.
But our first story of the night, unfortunately, is in remembrance. Demond Wilson, Lamont on Sanford & Son, dies at 79. Didn't know if you... Go ahead.
This was actually back from February. We missed this one. Otherwise, we actually wouldn't have had one tonight. But
okay.
we couldn't let this one go. This one came to us from Geek Flag with Nate Knows. So thank you so much for bringing this up, Nate. And then I sent it to Boomer, and I was like, "Did we miss this one?" You're like, "Yeah, we must have done."
No, because I would have asked you. I mean, I don't know if you watched Sanford & Son yourself, because that could have been a good old days.
I did not in its original run though. I
Right.
watched it when it was in syndication. One of those shows that you would see like literally every day, in the evening, on your local affiliates.
Red Skelton was on that, right? Oh, Red Fox. My
Red
mistake.
Fox.
My
Red
mistake.
Fox.
I'm confused.
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, his whole thing was whenever something would be upsetting to him, he'd act like he was having a heart attack. Oh, it's a big one! It's a big one! and he announced to his wife that he was coming to see her in heaven.
Oh, okay. Demon Wilson, who starred alongside Red Fox on Answer to the Hey Dummy, yes, for 6 seasons on the popular 1970s NBC sitcom Sanford and Son, has died 79. Wilson died Friday of complications from cancer at his home in Palm Springs. His son, Desmond Wilson Jr., told TMZ. On the strength of his performance on the 1971 All in the Family episode Edith Writes a Song, he and Cleveland Litter are burglars from Harlem who hold the bunkers hostage in their home. Wilson was hired as Lamont Sanford, the son of aging widow Fred G. Sanford, proprietor of Sanford & Son Salvage at 911 South Central Ave in Watts. After learning about the series format, I was doubtful about my involvement in the project. I thought about it long and hard and decided to take a chance, Wilson says in 2011 book Black and Blue, the Red Fox story. Red and I thought we could grab some quick cash plus notoriety, then move on to the next project. Well, it lasted 6 seasons, so I said they did pretty well for themselves.
Yeah.
Especially in the 70s.
And I don't know. The 70s was a marginal time, so I don't know if this fell under the rights and whatnot. But if they got residuals the years later, that was probably pretty nice.
I'm coming to Elizabeth. Yeah. Well, you did get they must have gotten residuals because I know that was a big thing with Bob Crane and what was the name of that show? Hogan's Heroes. Mm-hmm. Because there was one of the plot lines in the movie is that, or at least when the documentary of the movie was that he was struggling, but Hogan's Heroes was about to get into syndication at the time, like they were, or like he was about to get the syndication money, and it would have been worth a fortune. Like he wouldn't have had to work anymore in his life what he was going to get from syndication on that. But then he was murdered. Yeah. And there's big suspicion as to who murdered him too. It was in this documentary on the DVD. It's interesting. But rest in peace, Demon Wilson. And sorry we missed it back in the day. Did you know that Red Fox was his stage name? His real name was Fred Sanford, and he created and developed Sanford and Son TV show. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Wow, I did not know that. That is interesting.
So it's funny. His stage name.
Yeah,
it was him on the show, but his character name was his real name.
That's interesting.
That's actually very clever. Okay. Oh, now we got to move into the present. Okay.
Oh,
Epic
gosh,
Games.
here we go.
I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this was mentioned by WDW Pro, as I recall. Right? You were saying that Fortnite apparently is not doing as well as everybody claims it is, because of course Fortnite is the big game that all the game companies were trying to copy, with projects such as what was the name of that game? Concord, that Sony pumped all that money into. And lost a lot of money into it. I'm sure that has nothing to do with the increased price of their consoles. But anyway, I'm just... the company behind Fortnite is facing a difficult moment. Epic Games confirmed a major round of layoffs, cutting around 1,000 jobs as it grapples with slowing engagement and mounting industry pressure. The announcement signals a shift for one of gaming's biggest success stories, as changing player habits and economic challenges begin to take a toll. For many inside the company, the move reflects a broader reality hitting the entire gaming sector right now. The decision was outlined in a message from CEO Tim Sweeney, who acknowledged the challenges faced by the company. Today we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. The move begins. I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making, and we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. You know, back in the day, games would have, there'd be a shelf life for popular series, do you understand? And then they wouldn't be popular anymore. But I think because of games like Call of Duty and maybe games like World of Warcraft, which had years and years, people thought that when you have the big hit, you're going to be there forever. And I don't think that's the case with Fortnite anymore. I think they're now bleeding players now. It says, what role do industry conditions play? Epic made it clear that the issue isn't just internal. The gaming sector as a whole is dealing with some slower spending, tougher economics, and increased competition. Some of the challenges we're facing are industry-wide challenges: slower growth, weaker spending, and tougher cost economics. Current consoles selling less than last generations, and games competing for time against other increasingly engaging forms of entertainment. Like what? TikTok, as the Microsoft CEO would say?
Yeah, and let's not forget that these game companies have been busy putting out a bunch of propagandistic crap.
Oh,
So,
it was so bad in Fortnite. I forgot what it
Yeah.
was. I don't remember what. There was some forced video that where they were playing a video. I don't know if it was pro BLM or if it was something else. It was
Yeah.
along those lines in the Fortnite game. According to the FAQs, though, are the layoffs related to AI? No, the company said AI is not a factor. Well, at least they're being honest there, because I'm getting tired of people blaming everything on the AI. But some things
well,
are.
yeah, and here's the problem. When I look at, yes, I see a great deal of potential for AI. At the same time, it's not there yet, so it can't possibly be affecting. What do you call it? It can't possibly be affecting games yet. Ironically, I also feel like there's a lot of room to use AI in games that it's not being used yet. Well, maybe the next generation of games will start doing so a little bit more. But
Maybe for
in
bug
the
checking.
meantime-
I don't know.
heaven forbid they should actually do any quality control on games. I'm getting sick of that.
Yeah, you fix
But
it post-launch with a patch.
No, what I would love to see is AI for the communication with the character. That would be great.
Like
Instead
with-
of these scripted little tree things.
Like with your Fallout game, where you got shot because it knew your name. I remember that. Yeah, you're
Well,
mentioning
yeah, and that would be one thing where it could actually know your name. But the other thing too is I find this has always been true in games when you interact with the NPCs. You have this very limited. It's almost like a twist-a-plot game. Like the books, the old twist-a-plots. If you want to say this, go here. If you want to say this, go there. And it's like, you're not showing the option for the most obvious thing that I would like to say right now.
Yeah. Okay. So, moving on to... See what I got there? Fat stacks.
Yeah.
As Jesse on Breaking Bad would have said. Okay. So next-gen Xbox and PS6 predicted to hit almost $1,000. I'm seeing Dr. Evil with the pinky near his mouth.
Pretty much.
The next generation of consoles could be far more expensive than their predecessors, with analysts suggesting prices may reach as high as $999 for certain models. The warning comes as rising production costs continue to put pressure on hardware pricing as a result of the AI boom and various other factors, including tariffs, which Nintendo has pushed back on. Speaking to Games Radar, Super Data co-founder and games industry analyst Juice Van Drunen predicted the PlayStation 6 and Xbox's Project Helix could launch around 50% higher than current consoles, even if the platform holders don't necessarily want to. They really don't want to raise prices on their hardware because that part is usually a heavily subsidized part of the equation, and the sale of games is the gravity point of their revenue. Yes! Wow, that's a big surprise. People buy consoles for games, and that's how the companies make their money. That's why the consoles are sometimes sold as a loss, because they make the money on the back end with the games that are printed on discs that don't cost anything to make.
That's how they have to make the money now that USAID has been shut off and other revenue services that have been sponsoring them all this time are gone.
Well, maybe if they didn't keep going to places like Sweet Baby Inc. to start inserting stuff in the games that nobody wants in there. I'm just saying, I predict that the next...
Well, they know it now. Now they need to start acting it like they know it.
I predict that the next generation of console hardware will start at 50% higher price point than the current one did. Okay, PlayStation 5 launched at $499 in 2020, a 50% increase with the PlayStation 6 at $750 for a basic model. This is insane. $999. This is no one's going to spend that money. Do you think people are going to spend that money? I don't think they are.
Nope, they'll just get it on PC.
Well, it's funny. Another story this week was Sony has now removed all their games from from Steam or from PC, which I thought was funny because I'm like, why were they on there to begin with? They were doing that for a while. They were putting their games, like if you wanted to buy the latest Spider-Man game, I think it was on PC, but now those have been removed because they say we need those as PlayStation exclusives. But y'all had already done it, I don't know.
Yeah, and I just feel like good luck to you because I am not going to go out and spend another $1,000 on another thing to play that game when, you know what, there's a lot of stuff on Steam that I could be playing. I could just upgrade my current PC, which will help me when I'm streaming, which will help me when I'm broadcasting, which will help me watch movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and you know what, all my Steam games. So
Gotcha. But
The goat one.
yes, so I can play a Goat Simulator. Don't have the money to burn, and PCs are under attack to be eliminated for the app server Pure World. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Boomer?
what is this one? Don't have the money to burn, and PCs are under attack to be eliminated for the app server Pure World. Oh, maybe he's worried that like consoles, maybe you'll get things like Chromebooks in the future, where everything's online. I don't know. I don't know if we're there yet, but yeah, maybe they will at some point. Push
And welcome
that.
Jesse Guajardo excuse me, Jesse Green. I'm sorry.
Oh,
welcome
okay.
Jesse Green. They pay $100 for some games. Still, what want you to pay more? Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was for like collector's editions too of games like the Star Wars Outlaws. There was like 100. I think there was a more expensive edition. The base prices still haven't gone up to 100 yet, but people are worried with Grand Theft Auto 6 that that's going to be your first $100 game. They're really worried about that. Insiders apparently want that to be $100 because I know Nintendo has pushed things up to $80 with some of their titles. And yes, they did. The Super Mario Brothers Wonder game they released on the Switch, even though it's an enhanced version of the one on the Switch, it has more stuff. It's $80, whereas the Switch version cost me $60. And I assume if you have the Switch version, you can just upgrade it for another $20. But the point is, it's still $80. It's like another $80 game. And now I'm worried we're going to be pushing toward $100 games. And it's like, people can't afford this.
Welcome Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music.
You know what I was reading about today? Because I'm trying to come up with an idea for my final class project for my I'm taking a rare books class. And apparently there was a subscription library in England before public libraries became the norm. And it was something where you'd pay a subscription, and it was cheaper than actually going out and buying a physical book. Does any of this sound familiar? You can pay a subscription fee to this library, but then as people got dependent on this one chain for subscription fees to buy these novels, to get access to these novels, then the main company started doing what they call triple-decker novels. Do you know what a triple-decker novel is?
I can't even imagine.
I found out today. A triple-decker novel is a novel that they've cut into 3 different volumes. Publishers hated this too. They said it was more expensive for them because they would just publish a novel as 1 volume. But they would split it up into 3 because then they could charge you rental credits or points for each part of that, for each of the 3 volumes that make up 1 novel. How awful is that?
Yeah.
Because it was ridiculous, and this was only in England. In America, you could just, but the books weren't as prohibitively expensive as they were in England. This was going on in England at the time.
I mean, authors like John Saul, Stephen King. I don't know if Dean Koontz did this. They would do anthologies, which were really novellas.
Yeah.
Published over time that were all part of one book that eventually, after all of them were published, they would then reprint, the collection of them.
And to be fair, Dickens did that too with his serialized novels, I think, in newspapers or something. Yeah, he did that too, because I don't think he liked this system either. But this struck me as nickel and diming, or what's the British phrase for that? Halfpenny or shilling, insulting your customer, but yeah.
But So it depends on how it's being done and why. If you have a full novel and you go, hey, let's break this up into 3 and sell it, in 3 different parts, so they have to pay us 3 times. Yeah, that's kind of
That's what was going
on. But if it's more like, well, I've gotten this much of it done, let me publish this and get it out while I'm working on the next part.
Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Kind of what comic books are.
No, that's fine, but that's not what was going on here. They basically told the publishers, we want this novel you're bringing out, we want it in 3 parts for our lending library. Right. That's what they said. It was already done, and the publishers didn't like doing this either, so I thought that was interesting. But I remember those triple novels because my 3rd grade teacher showed us these books. Oh, that's interesting. But sorry guys, I have to bail. I spent all day working on my new novel. Okay, well, have a good weekend, dude. Rest up. And I remember those triple-decker novels because my 3rd grade teacher who showed us these books. Oh, that's interesting. She must have had some of them. Yeah. I wonder if they're rare at this point. But you know what I'm thinking? I only have the first 2 parts of Huckleberry Finn. How does it end? It's like, right. Sorry, we're all out of the 3rd part. They didn't get returned. They're not going to be returned for another couple months. Sorry. It's like, come on.
Exactly.
Okay. GameStop. I made a joke when you sent this article because I saw the card. It's like, GameStop trying to help players offset PS5 hike with enhanced trading credits. Yeah. Give us your car. We'll give you half off of PlayStation 5 or something.
It's getting to that point. Yeah.
It was a joke because I'm like, not even... yeah. All right, let's see what they're actually saying. Maybe they're giving us a deal. I remember I traded 3 games into GameStop to get Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time when it came out. Because I had a lot of crappy games on the Nintendo 64 that I didn't like, so I'm like, let me get rid of 3 of them. One of them was Automobile Lamborghini.
Okay.
That was the title of the game, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I get to drive all these cars I could never afford from Italy, from Europe, right? And there was a racing game, but I didn't like it. It was boring. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I went too far. Okay, GameStop has introduced a short-term trade incentive aimed at helping some customers offset the impact of a recent price increase for PlayStation 5 consoles. The retailers offer amplified trade-in values for qualifying hardware ahead of the new pricing taking effect in early April. Sony Interactive Entertainment announced global and increased suggested price. Yeah, I know, we did that last week. What's the promotion? The GameStop's promotion, publicized on its official social media channels, increases the trade-in value of certain hardware models when customers trade in a working console and complete a purchase of a new hardware in a single transaction. Additional credit levels vary by console and condition, with the highest incremental values offered toward a PlayStation 5 Pro purchase. Customers must present functioning devices, including necessary cables and controllers, to qualify for the elevated trade-in amounts. Under the fine print, however, there is some fine print to be aware of. The offer is limited in duration and, according to GameStop, runs through April 4th, 2026. Well, too late for you.
Yeah.
This gives buyers only 3 days to take advantage of the offer once the price decreases. GameStop also requires participants be enrolled in its Power Up Rewards Pro. GameStop also requires participants be enrolled in its Power Up Rewards Pro loyalty program to receive maximum credit value. Membership program carries an annual fee of $25, and trade-in payouts are issued as in-store credit rather than cash. This is we're living in Dickensian England right now. What is this? I don't. This is nothing changes. Human beings are always the same. That's what drives me crazy. This is like, how can we rip people off? I hate GameStop. I don't like going in there. GameStop's approach follows similar initiatives the company implemented August 25 when Sony raised its PlayStation 5 prices by around $50 in the United States. Okay. But what are they offering you for trade-in? If I bring in a PlayStation 4, do I get an extra $20 off a PlayStation 5? They're not saying.
No.
And it looks like the offer's over anyway. And my suspicion is that you have your heart set on doing this, and then you go in after April 4th, and they're saying, sorry, that deal's over, but we can still, knock off some money. So, and I think you're already there with your console you're going to sell. Are you going to go back home with it, or are you just going to take the loss and try and get your PlayStation 5?
Yeah, probably.
They were the Sherlock Holmes novels. Okay, yeah.
Oh well, yeah, keep in mind they weren't originally they were originally released in Strand magazine, so that would be like if you had a series in, I don't know, heavy metal or I don't know what the others equivalents would be today.
Okay, sorry. What?
But
Oh yeah. So it was like that. Yeah, like in the Strand magazine, you said.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Sounds like GameStop is taking up membership models like Costco.
Kinda, yeah.
I've never been to Costco. Have you?
I have, yeah.
Are there?
It's great if you have a really big family and you want to buy in bulk. It's kind of pointless if you're like, just a couple like Netter and I.
So it's a big box store, right?
Oh yeah, that
I
would be
used
a big box store. Yeah.
I used to love going. I think we have Sam's Club. I've been to those, and there were places up. I used to love going
it's
to
like
those
that,
places
yeah.
because they had stuff you couldn't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like they had the stir fry meal you get in the frozen section that actually wasn't too bad. But like I don't know, but it's about buying in bulk. Like you buy all the cereal. It's great if you have like a big family or if you're on the farm or
Right.
something, right? But
Well, and you mentioned the exclusives. Sometimes the exclusives they kind of get you with those. I can't remember now if it was Costco or Sam's Club, but back in the mid '90s when Hasbro was doing the Power of the Force figures, they would do collections of figures. You get like 4 figures, in a set. And I would pick these up, but what you were really getting was 4 figures that you could easily get separately, and they were just packaged together with this cardboard outer box that was exclusive to Sam's Club, and there was no additional value there for those. Yeah.
well, you got the additional cardboard outer box, I guess. I'm just
Well, and sometimes there was a certain convenience there. If you were going to get all 4 of those figures anyway, yeah, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get that.
Let's see. The price of RAM is out of control because of every company's AI ventures. If you want a PC desktop, they will be super expensive. Is that right? Well, speaking of which,
Yeah.
oh, never mind. That's not the next article. Okay.
Oh, that would have been a great pivot,
Darn
though.
it. Okay. Back to our head. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay.
Put a pin in that. Me and my monkey.
We may have one of the reasons why the RAM's getting so
We
expensive.
are going to be talking
yes.
about that. Yes.
The largest pinball arcade in the Midwest is now open in Illinois, featuring over 110 machines from the last 80 years. Darn it. Is this anywhere where you live?
Yeah, it's not far from me. This was sent to me by Marc Malnekoff, and I was like, okay, this is cool. This is something worth talking about. Yeah.
That might be something fun if you do like an excursion out there sometime. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell us about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But this is actually rather neat. The Pinball Capital, the largest pinball arcade in the Midwest, is celebrating its grand opening today at Stone Park, Illinois. The date also marks the 50th anniversary of Roger Sharp's appearance before a New York hearing where he demonstrated to the Manhattan City Council that pinball is a game of skill rather than chance. Oh, yikes. That must have been a thing. The grand opening will feature a screening of Pinball, the Man Who Saved the Game, and will be attended by Sharp himself, according to the Pinball Capital. The new venue covers 8,100 square feet and features all 30 of Stern's Pinball Insider connected tables, along with more than 80 other machines from various eras of pinball. The collection is extensive, spanning more than 6 decades, and includes games from a 1947 Gottlebeat Humpty Dumpty to 2025 releases such as Harry Potter, King Kong, Myth of Terror Island. Ooh, that's interesting. Star Wars, Fall of the Empire, Jaws, and Cactus Canyon. As part of the celebration, Sharp will showcase the bank slot machine, which will then be given away to one lucky guest in attendance. The festivities will continue throughout the weekend, offering free play on pinball tournament competitions and complimentary snacks and non-alcoholic drinks. The Pinball Capital will operate Tuesdays through Thursdays with $20 all-day play from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. and Fridays through Sundays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. This would be a cool way to spend an evening. You just pop down $20, play all the pinball games you want. That might be... Yeah. Maybe you kids that can't afford these expensive consoles, maybe once a month go down there with your buddies and play pinball to your heart's content. I guess it's all non-alcoholic drinks there, though. I used to go to arcade bars where they'd actually have alcoholic drinks you could play.
Oh, like Dave and Buster's and stuff like that.
Yeah. The classic game room guy once said when he was playing, he said, Ms. Pac-Man is best played on a cocktail cabinet. That way you can have the joystick in one hand and a scotch on the rocks in the other.
There you go. I'm out for that.
That's
Yeah.
what he said, yes. But yeah, now going on. But anyway, this is just a really cool, really cool. It's really cool. I would go to this myself. We need more of these. I'm sorry if I'm paying. Just bring the arcades back at this point.
I know, right?
Just because I'm just done. E-games will be for the uber rich. The rest of the world will get a renaissance of pinball and air hockey. You know what? Yeah, maybe. Because and maybe that's what we'll do. Us working class people. That's what people don't understand about game consoles. This was a working class hobby, and they're taking it away from us, and it makes me angry for the young people out there. I'm just not happy about this. But this might explain why some of these prices are going up, because apparently Chinese memory vendors are claiming to be doomed, tossing aside stockpile DDR modules as dropping prices cause panic. What on earth?
Yeah.
This is some shady business here. Let me read the article. Get rid of you. Okay. So let's see. In a new video shared by a Chinese media account, the current situation in the memory industry appears to be causing panic among some DDR sellers who are now begging for prices to rise again. So I guess they're hoarding it like gold and silver. We have reported on a DDR5 prices dropping aggressively across retail markets in recent times. And interestingly, the situation in China appears to be the most surprising of all. A Chinese media account on X has shared what appears to be a RAM vendor at a local market who is showing a stockpile of DDR modules. And interestingly, there is a computer panic within him. According to automated translation, the vendor says memory prices have seen a massive dive, and they are stuck with huge memory stockpiles with nowhere to offload them at inflated prices.
That's a shame. Too bad.
Now I'm starting to think I should have gotten that PS5 while I still could have, and I could have waited for the memory to go down. Well, here's what the vendor is actually saying in the video. Brothers, memory prices have taken a massive dive. We're stuck with it. Stuck with it. We're doomed. Yeah. We're screwed. Is there any chance the price will go back up? This should be a movie. I'm sorry.
Right.
This is a broader sentiment in the retail consumer market, memory market, especially among hoarders who initially stocked up on DDR modules in anticipation of offloading the higher costs. However, with the recent drop in RAM prices, the same vendors are now panicking about their stockpiles and whether they can be offloaded at the prices they initially paid. We all know what happens when the hoarder scalper community once prices are poised to drop from their inflated levels. It creates a domino effect with stockpilers offloading large quantities of DDR products, hoping to stay safe from the price drop. Why are the prices going down now?
Well, because if you're stockpiling, eventually the production is going to catch up to the demand, and when it does, it starts to drive prices down again. It's just like playing the stock market. You got to know when to get in and when to get out. They
got in while it was high, and they thought it would keep going higher.
Yeah, and they made a bad call. And congratulations, now you're stuck with it. And nobody cares because this is what happens.
Right now, the demand for DRAM in enterprise markets is consistently growing, and there's no chance of the growth rate slowing down. Yet at the same time, the PC market has seen a more interesting phenomenon, one that we're never anticipating happening in U.S. markets. Several DDR memory deals are emerging with average prices down more than 30% from the very highs. Okay. Well, there you are, Jesse Grotto. If you got yourself a PS5, you might actually be able to get yourself some memory for it at a more reasonable price. But and I did want to show a picture from Grums you had sent me from his Twitter account. I have that here. Yeah. This is from the actual Chinese video with all the stockpile. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah. When you hear that something is scarce, always press X to doubt.
Yeah. Let's see. OpenAI was planning on buying 40% of this year's RAM, but they had to make cutbacks because they aren't making money. So I'm hearing RAM is dropping now. Oh, for the love of Mike.
Yep.
I shouldn't cuss on stream, should I? Because I'm a little angry about that now.
Well,
I can look at the digital model, and I'm not doing it. No, I have enough. I have enough. What I want for nothing, right? Okay, all right.
well, you'll have nothing and you'll be happy. So
You know what? I'll take up fishing. Of course, then the government will tell me I can't do that.
I was just
probably.
gonna say you need a license.
Yes, and it's going up, man, threefold.
And they're gonna tell you can't do that anymore, and you can't do anything on your own land, and
And I'll buy some old D&D modules to play some D&D, and then the Pinkertons will show up at my house to beat me up.
Right, exactly.
Just okay. AI fake shortages for speculation AI fake shortages for speculators to exploit. Well, yeah, I think they're doomed, and frankly, you reap what you know what. Just you're gonna have to sell at a loss.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors fell through window on Daily Wire action flick. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot more to this, and you know what? I'm going to. Well, if you're following on my channel, I've got it linked down below. But I'm going to go ahead and drop an article that just went up about 2 hours ago from. And this I'm putting this up on all the channels from Midnight's Edge. That does a little bit of a deep dive into it.
Yeah, so maybe you'll have more details as I read, but according to this, just over a week after several crew members walked off the South Carolina set of Jonathan Majors' upcoming untitled action film from the Daily Wire and Dallas Sun-Ears Bonfire Legend, more details about the safety concerns that led to the strike have emerged. As we previously reported, IATSE called a strike against the production on March 26 over a series of labor issues. We understand that initially the union attempted to sign a contract with the production in order to secure payment into the union's health and pension funds. However, things got more serious as the safety concerns grew over the past 5 weeks of production. Producers have not denied any of the below allegations, but when reached by deadline for comment, they said they don't negotiate with communists.
Freaking genius. Just brilliant. Why don't you just shoot yourself in the other foot now?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounded like maybe discretion's...
Wait a minute. Ben Shapiro's audience is absolutely cratered in the wake of the Iran situation as he pours out Netanyahu-approved war hawk propaganda. Yes, that is exactly who Beanie Boy is. I'm sorry. I am a huge supporter of the Israelites, but not of the current Israel. Okay? Let me be very clear. As a Christian, I care a great deal about the chosen people. But Netanyahu is a Yahoo. And this equating him with supporting the Jews is ridiculous. And the Jews don't want to be bombed. They don't want endless war. They don't want what Netanyahu's doing. And honestly, the Americans even less. We don't need to be involved in somebody else's war.
Well, it's interesting because Matt Walsh is not a fan of the situation either, so I guess he's on opposite ends with Shapiro on this.
But he better keep quiet because if he speaks up,
he spoke out against on his thing. I heard
because he's going to be dropped the way what's her name?
Candace.
Oh no, Candace is another. That's a whole other ball of
can of worms.
psycho.
Okay. It's his cousin. What's
the one
her name?
that was going to play? The one that was going. Well, looks like his cousin. Yeah, the one that was going to play Snow White. This is the problem with this whole company. If you have any intellectual honesty, even if you are a conservative, these people are yahoos. They are CIA pin-wearing, deep statist war whores, and they couch it behind the flag and support America, but it's bullcrap. It's moronic. These are the same people that still believe that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. You know?
So I have a question, though, about this particular thing. Is this like a Rust-type situation where protocols weren't followed? Is that what I'm getting from this?
I don't know for certain, but yes, I do believe these were legitimate safety concerns that the crew is saying someone is going to get seriously hurt, this needs to be fixed, and it's not being addressed. These are legitimate reasons why people would say, I don't want to be involved in this. I'm out of here. And they're couching it in political terms and saying, well, they're communists. People that just don't want to be injured on the job are not communists. These are just rational human beings, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like, interestingly, you know, the initial thought when you see an article like this is, oh, what is Jonathan Majors doing now? No, he's just a man who wants to work. And nobody wanted to hire him until this company did. So he took the job. He and, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the other actor's name, that fell out of this window and fell 6 feet onto broken glass, okay? Neither one of them are coming out and saying, oh, it's unsafe conditions, I don't want to work for them anymore. They both are on camera saying, yeah, I'll be okay. Did you get the shot? Well, if you got the shot, let's use it, you know? Nobody was having a problem with it that was directly involved in the situation because these actors just want to work. They just want to work. They want to get paid. And they're not saying anything in interviews that's particularly negative towards the production company. But now, you know, because they know that they're not looking so good, they're looking to blame them, saying, oh, they shouldn't be doing interviews at all. Okay, did you give them that direction? Just don't take any interviews on this?
I'm
sorry. This whole Jeremy Boring, Ben Shapiro, these are people that have great ideas but don't have the experience to pull them off in the business world.
Let's see.
Yes, this is another great point. Now, I don't know if this is specifically true in this circumstance, but in general, the crews do tend to be more conservative because they're working class people.
Yeah, well, they're tradespeople. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Or
see, there's different kinds of conservatives. There's true conservatives, the real salt of the earth, the real working class that are against high taxes, that don't want us getting involved in foreign wars, you know, that want as much freedom as possible in their lives. You know, yes, they support the police, but not, you know, ridiculous trampling all over people's rights. That's conservatism. Then you have the neocons that want us to be the world police, you know, USA, F yeah, you know, let's go bomb this country, let's go bomb that country. And you know how we win the wars? By completely wiping them off the map. That's what we want. Yeah, that's not conservatism. That's statism. That's war whores. That's the deep state. That's Susie Wormtongue, who's actually running everything that Trump is doing right now.
I've seen that analogy being made, actually, but it doesn't look like...
Majors, Daily Wire, Deadline. No one to root for here. No, that's actually a pretty good summation.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like these days you're sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Honestly, I feel like the Daily Wire and Deadline are putting me in a position to have to defend Majors here. Majors, for once, didn't do anything wrong. You know?
I've seen a clip of the ass that doesn't look serious on its face, but shouldn't have happened. Okay, well, at least no one was serious.
Yeah, when you check out the Midnight's Edge video, because he gets real in depth into what happened, and it had to do with a replaced pane of glass that was supposed to be, you know, I don't remember what the kind of glass is that you're supposed to break when you jump through it. And it was for a future scene. And they installed it when they shouldn't have. I'm guessing they probably should have had plexiglass installed for safety reasons. You only replace that plexiglass when you're going to be doing something where you need someone to break through it. And then it's a well-choreographed shot. This was not that. This was accidentally falling through the glass when they shouldn't have, and not being prepared for the fall on the other side, which was I've heard it said it was about 6 feet.
Okay.
I don't know if that takes into account the height of the actors. It might have done, because look, I was just telling Boomer before the stream, I took a tumble yesterday down 2 steps. It was about 6 inches. But when you consider my weight and my height, that's still and you're not prepared for it. I fell wrong. I wasn't doing a fall that was planned and intentional, so I ended up getting hurt. And so yeah, you could say I fell, almost 6 feet because, height of my body. But anyway, the point is, and he fell through glass and cut up, not Majors, I'm sorry, the other actor whose name I can't remember, cut up his hands.
No, I don't think it was candy glass. I think I see what you're saying.
I want to say it was it tempered glass, or I don't remember what.
I understand what you're saying. Now that's the artificial stuff they use, like when you have smash a beer bottle over someone's head on a set. Yeah.
Whatever it was, it also wasn't installed properly. It wasn't. It was a partial install. It was like, you tack it up and you're going to go back
right.
and reinforce it later. They hadn't done that. I guess they figured, well, no one's supposed to be breaking through this, so it should be fine until we can get around to it. That is not how you maintain safety on a set like this.
Yes. No, it isn't.
Yeah, it was actual glass. But I don't think it was pane glass. I think it was tempered glass, which is supposed to shatter, which is sometimes what they use in certain scenes. I don't know. So, so when you see someone break through a window, it's not candy glass. Candy glass is what you use on a bottle that you break over someone's head. When you want a glass to shatter, that's tempered glass. That's the kind of glass you have in your windshield. It takes a lot to break it, but when it breaks, it's spectacular, but it breaks away from you, and you usually don't get seriously injured. You can get injured if it gets into your eye or something like that. So there are certain safety things they got to do when they're planning the stunt.
Also, you may not know this, anybody out there in TV land, but your bathroom window is also tempered glass.
Yeah.
It has to be by law.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, that makes sense.
So that's interesting. But and actually, more windows are tempered glass than you might realize.
Do you think the Daily Wire is in some giving me financial trouble if it isn't already?
Well, I hope they're talking to lawyers right now. Safety glass is all about the shape of the glass when it breaks. It doesn't create shards. Yeah. I'm getting off topic here, but tempered glass is a type of glass that's between 2 sheets of film. I don't know if it's a plastic or what, and it takes a lot to break it. When you hit it, you see it shatter like a spider web, and if you break through it, all these little pieces go all over. They're little tiny pieces. And you can get nicked by it, like little paper cuts on your face or your hands or wherever it hits you. But by and large, it's not going to slice your jugular or anything like that. That's why they use it. Several crew members walked off the set, off the movie earlier this week for safety reasons. Look, so getting back to your analogy to Rust, where people were saying, look, there's safety concerns.
Yeah.
Please fix this. Yes, I would say this is exactly like that.
What's the movie?
And considering, I think if you were to go back and watch Benny Boy's, well, I would have taken it.
No, you don't get that one.
Okay.
You get this
if
one.
I were to pay attention to older streams of his, I'll bet he had some things to say about Alec Baldwin that are going to come back to bite him.
Yeah, had your shot.
Remember, the internet's kind of forever, guys.
You had your shot to meet him, I'm just saying. But he might have run you over, though.
I wouldn't waste my time. I was too busy trying to find Marvin Montanaro and Snarky J and WDW Pro and Jonas J. Campbell. Those were the people I wanted to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like We actually enjoyed our time at the con.
We didn't need Alec Baldwin ruining it for
Yeah.
us.
But and we mentioned this before, whoever organized it did a piss poor job.
Yeah.
Last year you could find everybody, you could find everything, the maps made sense. This time it was like,
But if
how does this work? We're trying to find cosplay headquarters. We don't know what that is. You work here.
yeah, if you want to see a celebrity and you want to see as much of a celebrity as you can, you're going to want to check out Bryan Cranston on Disney Plus.
Yes, so taking my clothes off is my whole life. Bryan Cranston on the glorious gross out return of Malcolm in the Middle. Remember Malcolm in the Middle?
I do. Life is unfair.
Yeah, I guess that was the theme song, and I remember the wonderful episode where Bryan Cranston's he got the armoire that he found on the side of a house somewhere. Why is someone throwing out a perfectly good armoire? I'm going to polish this up and give it to your mother. Then he opens it up and he says, "Why are there all these tiny bow ties in here?" And then all these tiny black bow ties. And then suddenly it was bats and they flew all into the house.
Oh my gosh!
And they didn't know what to do. When he's calling up an exterminator, he says, "How much per bat?" And he hangs up, and it's just disaster. It was just bats all in the house. The intro to the new Malcolm in the Middle was quite the thing. Kids punch police officers. Santa Claus gets kicked in the face. A barrel full of feces detonates itself inside a family car. This recap of previous episode is so full of gross out comedy and family fights that a grandma grabs her teenage grandson and crushes his testicles until he squeals, and intones a voiceover at its end. Someone actually asked for more of this. Okay, did they? It's been 20 years since the Emmy Award-winning sitcom about outrageous working-class U.S. family with the titular child genius went off air. It's a show whose fans remember it fondly for never dipping in quality throughout its 7 seasons, but were they really clamoring for more? It was in all the magazines, says Frankie Moons, a.k.a. lead character Malcolm. In 2015, he casually tweeted that it would be so cool to catch up with the characters, and I couldn't believe the response. I was shocked, although really he shouldn't have been. After all, he spent decades getting first-hand experience of how much more loved the show is than he ever dreamed. One of the wildest was the first time I went overseas. I had no idea people knew the show there. I was in Geneva walking with my girlfriend and people were looking. By the end of it, we were literally being chased down the street. When I'm in Europe or I'm in Mexico or in Central America, people love the show so much. I'm not comparing myself to the Beatles at all, but it almost was that odd level of what is happening. Fans should be happy. The rebooted Malcolm in the Middle, subtitle Life's Still Unfair, after the theme tune lyrics, is every bit the laugh out loud pleasure that the original was. The 4 half-hour episodes, which reunite the original cast for parents, Lois and All's 40th wedding anniversary celebration, are full of killer gags, surreal humor, and OTT family showdowns ranging from siblings calling the tax office on each other to Malcolm attempting to win an argument about not being stuck up by keying his own car. It's comedy joy. I wonder what Malcolm does for a living now. It would have to be like science orientated, right? That would pay decently, but it's probably something like making chemical additives for, I don't know, for food or something.
Oh, no, that's his father's job.
Oh, it is? Okay. Okay, funny, yes. Oh, because of, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And it would never have been without one man. The series really came to follow me, a conversation Muniz had shortly after the tweet. I had dinner with Bryan. I remember him saying something like, "There's no role I'd want to revisit more than Hal," so he took the lead. It's thanks to Bryan that it really did happen. So good for Bryan Cranston. That's just to be clear, is Bryan Cranston, a.k.a. the star of Breaking Bad, widely regarded as one of the greatest TV shows of all time. He won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor 4 times in 5 seasons, crediting one of the finest performances ever committed to the screen. It's not surprising that the role he's keenest to reprise is a goofball dad with a penchant for stumbling into ludicrous slapstick scenarios. I think it's because he's been murdering so many people on other shows. Laughs Jane. Kaczmarek, who plays Malcolm's mother Lois, he's like, wow, I can go back and be Hal again. The opportunity to have fun certainly isn't one of Cranston's wastes. It certainly isn't one of Cranston wastes in the episodes. He performs a full-on choreographed dance routine in a supermarket aisle. He attempts to microdose, accidentally takes enough hallucinogens for 15 elephants, and ends up imagining himself on the Nine Inch Nails Trent Reznor, complete with thigh-high leather boots. He is repeatedly naked, including a callback to Hal's habit of stripping down so Lois can shave off his excess body hair while his kids watch it on in horror. Yes. Oh. Taking my clothes off seems to be my whole life, laughs Cranston, who recently won an Emmy for appearing in an episode of Seth Rogen comedy The Studio, in which he wore a leopard skin thong. I thought a nudity clause meant that it was circumspect as to whether someone was going to be naked. I didn't know my agent viewed a nudity clause as nudity is essential, so here I am, a 70-year-old man parading around in his skeevies. That's funny. Cranston, all or nothing approach. Won't exactly shock fans. The original Malcolm in the middle. As far as he was concerned, the more extreme his commitment, the funnier the joke. I can't even recall all the things that I've done, but all in the name of comedy, you gotta go for it, he says. I was covered in blue paint. I was tied in front of a city bus. I had 60,000 honeybees all over me. I got stung in my crotch. In one episode, I had to drink a concoction of raw meat and eggs. So there you go. So that's the new Malcolm Middle. This actually sounds like I feel like I'm living in Bizarro World. It sounds like a Disney Plus show I'd want to watch.
Yeah, yes.
Is it on Hulu? I have access to that. Maybe I'll check it out on that. But yeah, we're living in Bizarro World this week too. Anything left to say on this though?
No, not at all.
Because what was my big complaint about Netflix buying Warner Brothers? Netflix doesn't believe in physical media. Yet here is another hot Netflix property that is now getting physical media, and that's K-pop Demon Hunters coming to DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K.
I wonder how much of that has to do with the production company saying this needs to happen.
Well, here's what I want to say, and maybe I'm cutting Netflix too much slack here, but here's all you have to do, Netflix. I understand that you yourself are not interested in releasing physical media, but there are probably plenty of companies out there that would love to release it for you. Okay, so just give them the opportunity. You'll make money off of it. You'll make a profit, and everyone's happy. Okay. And you know who it is releasing? It's Criterion is releasing this, the Criterion Collection. So another
You've
boutique
talked
label.
about them many times, yeah.
Yeah, another boutique label like Arrow, and it's getting a release by them. Because Arrow, of course, is doing the Stranger Things set. But K-pop Demon Hunters has huge success on Netflix, and it's a film really loved well. But it is getting a Criterion set. So there you go. So. And it's coming out on regular DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K, so you can pick your preferred format. So you have all three of them. Okay, well, that's it. Okay, I just thought I'd bring an update. I thought that was interesting. Amazon's live-action Masters of the Universe trailer reveals Jared Leto as Skeletor. Yeah. I don't know if you got a chance to watch this trailer or not, but they're doing a Masters of the Universe live-action movie.
Yes, I did. I've seen parts of it. Some of it looks really, really good. I've got some issues, but this is another one of those ones that could be really, really good, or it could be really, really bad. I doubt it's going to be anywhere in the middle.
I noticed Midnight's Edge is mixed because they're pointing out the things they loved and the things that they have reservations about.
Yeah.
I'll say this though: this looks a lot more like He-Man than that horrible Netflix cartoon.
Oh, that's for
Kevin
sure.
Smith
Yeah.
one. I mean, it looks like all the players are there. He's saying, "I have the power." You know, I think they were complaining about the part that he's on Earth for part of the movie, right?
Yeah.
And the Midnight's Edge people got angry. They said that kind of dates the movie now. You know.
The other
Whereas
thing
if they
is,
just go ahead.
The other thing is, I've heard mixed things about the voice of Skeletor being Jared Leto.
Jared
Leto,
Leto, yeah.
Honestly, what did you want? You want Oppenheimer doing, He-Man! It's me, Skeletor! It's like, that worked great in the cartoon. That's not going to fly in a movie like this. I'm sorry, honestly, Go back to the original movie with Dolph Lundgren. Who was it that played a Skeletor? That
Frank
was
Langella.
Frank Langella. Yeah, I thought he had the perfect voice for it. I'm not sure that he had the right physique for it. He probably was not.
He was fine.
The best physical casting for it, but his voice was great. You know,
he took that part very seriously. I give him points for that. He treated it like a professional. You know, when he played that.
Right.
Frank Langella, who his career got messed up because of an accusation that I don't believe.
I'm getting kind of sick of that kind of stuff. You know,
yeah, and I'm so angry about that. He's a great actor. But his Dracula. You ever see his Dracula movie from back in the day?
I absolutely did. Yes, I did.
Really, really great actor. Was Perry White in Superman Returns, as I recall, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the official description: after being separated for 15 years, the Sword of Power leads Prince Adam. So I guess in this he was exiled to Earth for protection. So like when he was a boy, so Adam Nicholas goes on back to eternity, where he discovers his home shattered under the fiendish rule of Skeletor. To save his family and his world, Adam must join forces with his closest allies, Tila, played by Camila Mendez, Duncan / Man of Arms by Idris Elba, and embraces true identity as He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Okay, so I don't know. It looks more like, I'll say this, it looks more like He-Man than certain other superhero movies that are coming out resembling their original thing. It's starting to, you know, it's funny you mentioned that, because frankly it reminded me of the Flash Gordon movie too, from the trailer.
Yeah.
In fact, so I don't know. Maybe it's either going to be great or it's going to be terrible. But I don't know. I feel the kids need something. The boys out there that you know have had all their stuff taken from them. I think they hope just make it a good movie, people.
Right.
Four Strikes and Leto's voice and Tila's pants are not among them. Oh. I don't know if I paid attention to Tila's pants, but maybe I should. Millie Alcock was in the news. If you don't know who that is, she is the actress playing the new Supergirl.
See, every time I hear her name, I think of Tilly Norwood. I'm like, oh, is she that AI chick?
I got to read this. She was interviewed recently, and maybe the rest of the interview went fine, and some of this is taken out of context, but just listen to this.
Yeah.
As Millie Alcock gets her solo DCU debut, the Supergirl star is flying solo with her portrayal of Kara Zor-El. The actress recently explained why she didn't seek advice from peers who previously portrayed the Girl of Steel, including Supergirl from 2015 to 2021 star Melissa Benoist and the Flash actress Sasha Calle. Oh, I see, the television actress. Okay, for Supergirl. So Millie Alcock goes on to say, they're just people living their lives, explained Alcock to Vanity Fair. It's not like we have this blood bond. Following her starring role of... yeah, okay, go ahead.
Let me interject something there, because I could almost see her point here. We've been saying for the longest time, why do we even care what these celebrities say? They obviously don't know the source material. They don't care about the source material. You know, this isn't like you're going to someone like Dean Cain, right, to ask for his advice on playing Superman.
Because he would talk about Christopher Reeve, and, you know, maybe he spoke to him or he spoke to another actor.
And you know, actually people that actually cared about their characters and took the time to understand what it was all about, you know?
Yeah.
But so is there really any value for her to go and talk to, and that's the other thing too. This article talks about Supergirl, right? And it shows the pictures of the one from the WB show. Or
yes,
CW
show, yes.
And it shows the girl from that Flash movie. And I'm like, but that's not even the same character. It's Supergirl in name only. It's a different character in a different universe. She would have no insight for you for playing the character you're playing. You know?
What I might have said was this is a new take on the character, and I didn't want anything in interfering with my not interfering, informing my performance because this is a new take on the character. I think I would have said that.
I think an even better thing to say, if you're concerned with not upsetting your audience, but B, maybe not upsetting people you might want to work with in the future, saying, I'm not asking anyone off the set because I have to do what my director tells me, what the writer tells me. You know, I'm acting in this project and I need to do what they say. And if they suggest that I read some comics, or if they suggest that I talk to a previous actor, I will absolutely do that. Otherwise, I'm not freelancing here because these are not my decisions to make. If you say that, you're going to have a lot of directors going, I think I'd like to work with her.
Also, there's more comments though. Meanwhile, joining the Game of Thrones franchise as Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen in House of Dragon, that's the prequel show which I haven't seen, has prepared her for taking on the DCU fandom. It definitely made me aware that simply existing as a woman in that space is something
That's where you lose your entire audience.
Let me read the statement.
Yeah.
It definitely made me aware that simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on, said Alcock. We have become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies. I can't really stop them. I can only be myself. What does that mean? Were fans saying you belong to me? I don't know what was going on here with that. Maybe people in the chat have insight. How about yourself? What's your insight on that? That's an odd thing to say in an interview.
This takes it from what could be a reasonable point on her side to let's push the victim mentality again. I am a woman. Women are mistreated in Hollywood, and men don't like women being strong superhero characters. Blah 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 blah. And no. What your real problem is that fans of an established IP have strong opinions, and if you're not with them, you're against them. And you seem to want to choose the side that's against them.
I have a question, and I'm being serious here.
Mm-hmm.
Does she benefit from the movie doing well or not doing well? That's my main question here. Does it make a difference to her?
These days, I don't even know. But I mean, look at
Warner Brothers offer her a flat fee and that's it, and then you don't make any residuals? Because this is not selling me on the movie.
I can sum it up for you. Let's be rational here. Look at that actress on the right. Okay, what's her name? Do you even remember her name?
No.
What the hell has she done since The Flash?
Okay, but to be fair, I didn't hear her mouthing off in the media. Okay.
No. I'm
Yes.
I'm answering the question you asked. Does someone benefit from a movie not doing well? The Flash didn't do well. People didn't like it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, that's my point, though. I don't understand. I'm not getting any enthusiasm from her on this project. I'm not getting. I mean, you are part of this production. You should be selling me an audience member wanting to go see this movie. You're supposed to be saying how cool it's going to be, and it's going to be an adventure in far space, and the dog gets shot, so he's out of commission for most of the movie, according to the trailer. But I didn't even bother doing a story on the trailer because it didn't look that good. But oh, and by the way, the Lobo thing, Geek Flag with Nate Knows was right, because it is just makeup. I guess the character puts on his face. He doesn't have white skin in this version. He just kind of paints his face white, like Heath Ledger's Joker or something.
Are you kidding me?
And that's what it looked like from the trailer to me. It looked like he was like a war paint thing he put on. That he just looks like a humanoid alien like the rest.
That is stupid.
Okay, I'm just saying that's what I saw, and apparently.
So in other words, they don't really care what the character's backstory is or any of that. Just screw all that. We're going to do whatever the hell we want.
It looks like they're trying to do a Guardians of the Galaxy style movie with like misfit characters again, and like her teaming up with Lobo, and I guess there's this girl character that she's trying to protect, and I don't know. Crypto's not along for it though, because apparently he gets poisoned according to the trailer, and then he'll die in 3 days if she doesn't get the antidote, and that's why she's going after these. I guess that's her motivation to go do something to save the dog. But yeah, I don't know. Okay. Well, Lynn Green, I guess I know what your opinion is on this. Okay. Shasha
Yeah.
Kamal was in The Rip with Matt Damon. Okay, so she is getting parts. That's the actress who played the Supergirl. I have nothing against her. I don't blame
No.
her for The Flash not doing well either, because I think that
No.
movie was just DOA.
I'm just saying I
Yeah.
don't think it did her any favors. And I
That's
would
my
say the
problem. Well, I
same
don't
would be
think
true
these
for
movies
this
are
girl.
doing anybody any favors. That's the
No.
problem. They keep saying things have changed. That we're out of the what is it, the Snyderverse, and now we're in the Gunverse, and I don't think this movie's going to do well, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Is anybody hyped for this?
I'm not.
I'm more hyped for He-Man than I am for this, and I'm not a He-Man fan. But anyway, moving on to J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot downsizing, closing L.A. office, but to set base in New York. This sort of came as a surprise. Is the wind finally changing for J.J. Abrams? Oh wait,
Not. I think there's a market correction going on here.
I will comment on this from the fast because thank you, Joe's Atmosphere, for the $10.99 super
Thank
chat.
you very
This was
much.
back
Yeah.
to Supergirl. Let me just go back there a minute there. Was cautiously optimistic until the interview and the new trailer. They've had 8 test screenings. They're on their 3rd composer, and they know it's a turd. It's Guardians of the Galaxy 5, Save Crypto again. I've heard that this is that they've shot that they keep trying different endings, and the test audiences keep rejecting them. Why don't they have the ending already written before the... Anyway. Back to Bad Robot here, though. Let me see. So, they're not doing so well. J.J. Abrams is reducing the footprint of his production company, Bad Robot. Word of the restructuring quickly spread around Hollywood on Thursday, despite the day being a major Jewish holiday Passover. The company is closing its LA office. They expect to open operations in New York, working with a smaller in-house team and outside producers. It's unclear yet which of Bad Robot's current executives will be leaving, but discussions are underway. As Bad Robot slims down, the company will remain under its first look film and TV deal at Warner Brothers, which goes through the end of the year. By then, the company will have been at Warner Brothers Television for 20 years. The downsizing reflects the change in financials of Bad Robot's Warner Brothers deal, which went from a rich overall agreement to a more modest first look pact at the last renewal announced in December 2024. I would argue this is because their projects aren't performing. Bad Robot has Error Presumed Innocent, Apple TV's breakout hit, returning 2nd season, and animated series Batman Cape Crusader for Prime Video. Thank you, Bad Robot. I forgot you were involved with that.
Yeah.
I've so wanted to talk to you about Batman Cape Crusader, but you refused to watch it because you know. Let me put it to you this way. In the old days, even if you got a bad Batman movie like Batman and Robin, you still get cool Batman the Animated Series episodes. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. I want to talk about Batman Cape Crusader, but I can't until I have someone to talk about it with. Okay. Anyway, apparently Bad Robot, are they off of Star Trek and Mission Impossible and Disney Star Wars now? Are they done?
Everything. Well, not entirely, because Secret Hideout still has some stuff in the can that's coming out.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks like they're not going to be making anything new going forward.
Batman Cape Crusader, where Batman is kind of one of the villains. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. No, I didn't say that out loud. It's fine. See, the problem is they think Batman's crazy, so that's how they end up portraying him now in productions.
Yeah.
Hershey to return to pure chocolate ingredients in all recipes. This is a long article, so brace for it. It might take me about another 15 minutes. Hershey says it's going back to pure chocolate ingredients in all of its products, swapping out a chocolate compound coating and replacing it with their classic milk and dark chocolate recipes. A member of the Reese's family recently accused the company for cutting corners on ingredients. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole article. It's like 3 sentences.
No, and there really doesn't need to be any more than that. I mean, that's exactly what, and I think what you said when I sent this to you was, Hershey's to return to pure chocolate ingredients. What were they putting in before? Well, this is one of the things I've been talking to you guys about during Liquid Lunches for a while now. the impurities they're putting into things. Look, it's really this simple. When we were kids and we first started, enjoying Hershey's chocolate and whatever else, there was chocolate, there was milk, there was some emulsifiers, sugar. That's about it. That's what was in these chocolate bars. Now they're adding all kinds of chemicals to make them last longer, to make them cheaper, to emulate. Look, I've said this before about chocolate. Chocolate is a monoculture. It's like bananas. If there's a blight, it could wipe out the world's supply of chocolate or bananas, or there are other monoculture crops out there. So I do understand why there would be some thought about maybe we should find artificial methods in case something happens. There has always been a huge fluctuation in the commodities market for chocolate, just like there is for coffee, just like there's for many other things. And chocolate and coffee happen to be ones that are very, very, it's very easy to do. Just one bad season could really throw off the whole market. But I think what they need to do is get away from monocultures and start looking at, there's other chocolates out there that aren't the same chocolates that they're using that provide. I was making an example did you know there's a red chocolate out there? There's a chocolate bean out there that when you break down the liquor and turn it into chocolate the way you do for the chocolate that which is brown, it actually comes out red. It is a different strain. It is related. It tastes a little different, a little fruity. There's a place for that in the market. Why they're not going after it, I don't know. But anyway, getting back to this, honestly, I'm gonna keep thumping on this. The one thing that our current administration has gotten on right was pulling in Robert Kennedy Jr. and the Maha movement. They've already been pushing companies to get rid of artificial colors, and those artificial colors, let's not be mistaken, they are petroleum products. They're putting stuff that comes from crude oil into your food to color it. Things that are not food, they're trying to put into your food. Why? Because they want it to have this color. Well, I'm sorry. If you can't put that color in with a natural color, then don't put it in. I honestly do not need my Cheetos to be orange. I don't. I need them to taste like cheese. Cheese and that wheat puff or corn puff that you make them out of. If you just do that, that'd be great. If you can get away from the seed oils that don't naturally occur in nature. When I say naturally occurring in nature, peanut oil. If you grind up peanuts, it naturally separates out the oil. That's a natural oil. Whereas sunflower seed, corn seed oil, corn oil, canola oil, those are all done from, I can't remember if it's hot press or cold press, a process that they go through to extract oils. And these oils are not natural to your body. Your body can't break them down the way it can with like peanut oil or coconut oil, or basic tallow, fat from beef, Those oils are really best used as lubricants for machinery. And in other countries, that's what they're used for. It is illegal to use seed oils in many countries of the world. You would think that in the United States, we think of ourselves as this great first world country. But we do the stupidest things because we don't care about our people and their health. We care about the money being made by big corporations that pay our politicians bills to get them reelected.
Well, on that note, speaking of the money people.
Oh, yeah. Remember this guy who said that corporations have an obligation to push political messaging. Do you remember?
Well, now
this
he's
guy
saying
from
the woke
WEF?
era went too far and that was never what they intended.
Well, based on what you said, it's exactly what happened.
No, they're backtracking now on all this stuff. So
Well, because there comes a point where the obvious cannot be denied.
anyway, I'm not going to read it, but I just figured I'd put this up here.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
the times they are changing. Like,
I hope so.
For heaven's sakes, Brie Larson's and when she's on tour for the Mario Galaxy movie, she's saying how excited she is to play this part and that she's been a Nintendo fan all their life. And I'm like, why isn't the Supergirl actress saying I'm been a fan of Supergirl all my life? This is a dream role and things like that.
Again, when you got Brie Larson being
Yes.
the positive example. And I was saying the same thing about Jonathan Majors. It's like the world is all turned upside down, people.
Well, maybe some people learn and grow, and they correct themselves. That could be what's
And I'm
happening.
all for it. Look, I'm the first one to say if Brie Larson really does do a good job, doesn't piss people off, doesn't say stupid stuff, I'll give her the thumbs up. Right? I'm not going to forget the stupid shit she said in the past, but I might forgive her for it.
People, people can grow, as it's been said. Anyway, though, but that's about all the time we have for tonight. I don't know if Deleted Scenes has anything going on.
He does not. So
Okay.
if you are on my channel, I will be forwarding you on to my stream at 11:30. Well, 11:30 Central. That's 12:30 Eastern, which is the next episode of Doctor Who. We start the 4-part arc called the Aztecs. That's tonight at 11:30. Hope you can join us. Yeah, if you can stay up late. She's probably better as a voice actress. I mean, she's not an unattractive woman. She is a very attractive woman as long as you're looking at her from the ankles up. But
Okay. Anyway,
but
yeah, I'm like Tilly Norwood, who has perfect feet.
well, depending on the role, it can change. She could have eagle talons if the role called for it.
I sent Troy an interview on a radio station with Tilly Norwood,
my
and she was
gosh.
talking some real trash about Sydney Sweeney.
And she
It
used,
was the
she
joke
used
every
the
woman
C word.
hates.
She used the C word, and
Every
I'm like,
wo-
I sure hope that wasn't live, because that's a problem.
That was I'm sorry, that was funny because it's like
really
they were
was.
saying every woman in Hollywood hates Sydney Sweeney, including the virtual ones. It's like
I did like the joke where she said, "Yeah, I'm AI and she's double D."
oh, that's funny.
That
And
actually
she was
a
having
pretty good
meetings
joke.
with all these different Hollywood types that were all the problem. Like, just
She talked about Weinstein and Cosby and stuff.
everything. She had a shrimp cocktail with Phil Cosby, and I'm like,
It was obviously a bit. It was.
I think it's
obviously
a bit. I don't even know if that was actually her. if that
Well,
was just a
especially when
radio
she
station
said something
doing it.
about DiCaprio trying to get her pregnant. And it's like, I can't get pregnant. Even though DiCaprio tried, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, that was just funny.
How that would be.
It's not possible. That's why
I guess
it's
that's
funny,
the
yeah.
joke, right?
I mean,
Yes.
I don't even want to visualize that.
No, absolutely not.
Anyway,
So tomorrow, of course, and every weekday, I have liquid lunch at noon Central, 1 Eastern. 1 hour, spend your lunch with me, and we'll talk about whatever the topic of the day is. But tomorrow night, of course, is for members of my channel. It's Members Night at the Movies, and as I promised last Friday, thank you for reminding me, co-pilot, is Sleeper from 1975, I believe it was, Woody Allen. It's a great movie. It's another one of those. Well, you know how Captain Rogers was frozen in time and
Yeah.
he came out in the modern day. Well, Woody Allen does the same thing. He gets frozen, comes out in the future, and I was talking about it because it kind of. There were elements of Fallout 4 that kind of reminded me of Sleeper, and I think I've talked about it so many times on streams, I think it's time that we watch it together. So join me. If you're a member of my channel, join me tomorrow night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. And if you're not a member, please consider it. It would really help me continue to do my channel. What do we got Tuesday, Boomer?
Tuesday, we have Sparkwood and 21.
Absolutely. The next episode of Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Followed by the next episode of Sherlock Holmes, the return of Sherlock Holmes on my channel. That's Tuesday. Wednesday's a busy day for me, but it has nothing to do with you guys. Thursday, Netter, what's going on Thursday?
Well, I don't currently have a guest, but I might. But in case I don't,
Just come hang out with us and you guys can run the stream.
Exactly. You just come on by. We'll have a nice chat, talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. It'll be fun, regardless whether I have a guest or not. And if there's anyone out there who would like to be a guest on Thursday Things and let the community get to know you a little bit better, shoot me over a DM on X and let's get you on.
Yep.
And then Friday, karaoke.
Friday's a karaoke stream, guys, and if those of you that have been around long enough know how it works, I'll start out here on this channel, just to greet everybody and get everyone together, and then we will migrate over to the Green Machine, the platform of freedom, where I don't have to worry about monetization and stuff. And copyright issues as we do karaoke. And if you want to join me, you want to do a song, absolutely come do one. If you want to recommend a song for me to do, you can absolutely do that as well. And that brings us to Saturday, which is over on Big Al Presents. I forget the name of the movie, but it's something about an astronaut, and it's Don Knotts, like the Audacious Astronaut, or something like that. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the movie.
Okay, but, he's good in anything, though.
Yeah, he's funny. He's absolutely funny. So we'll definitely enjoy ourselves on Saturday. Cool. And that is the roundup for this week.
Sounds great, and we'll catch you next time. Have a happy rest of Easter. Be sure to tune into Troy's channel, and a little under an hour. All right, catch you a little later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.